Hi, I'm Tandy Gutierrez, and this is a little Tip Tuesday mini vid about releasing the piriformis. So every once in a while I get just kind of like these little, not floods, but certain topics come up over and over and over and over and over, and then I go, now it's time to do a little video, okay? So in particular, this is going to a Matt and Kitchen subscriber, but there's at least 10 of you that I've heard from lately. And, you know, releasing the piriformis is a particular thing. I find that, you know, it's best to go to a massage therapist to do it because having somebody else do the release for you is just much more relaxing. When you try to work to release something yourself, it's not a full release, okay? But after having 2 babies and having a hip repair many years ago, when something really kicks in and tightens up in my body, it's the piriformis. And so I've made good friends at trying to release and releasing it myself over the years. So a good old tennis ball is a lovely thing to work with and really inexpensive and super accessible. This is not an ad placement, this is actually a piece that I use and I really don't get anything from it. This is a little small rollout, or not out, roller, okay? And there's 3 little balls inside the casing. And I've come to love this as a travel tool because I can use it on my feet and on my forearms as well for the piriformis. There's lots of other things you can use, and I know a lot of people use lacrosse balls. I feel like they're just a little too mean-spirited for stuff, but that's my opinion. That's the touchy-feely, hippy-dippy person in me that goes, you know, something with a little bit of give is nice to get in there with. And when you've got that really dense, hard lacrosse ball, I just don't feel like you get the same release through the fascia as the other things. But if it works for you, use what works, okay? So if it's, you know, something else or a tennis ball, put it in the dent of your tushy, okay? And then you're going to just sit on it, right? So that pressure point release of trying to roll into it and sit on it, okay? And that could be, you know, way up here. You may need more pressure on it, so come down to the forearm. It's really up to you, okay? And then I really encourage kind of, you know, fishing in it. Like, where's the stickiest spot for your body? And you go, oh, there it was, okay? And then sit there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As always, because of my Pilates calling card, inhale to scoop up that belly button, exhale to hold onto it nice and tight so you've got anchor and support for the system. Then you can just roll up and down, right? That simple roll is nice and it will start to get into all of it to release. 4, 3, 2, 1. Then go back to find that little dent in the tushy, and it's not a perfect science, right? It's not exact. Then you're gonna close and open like a little butterfly. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then leave it open. Then extend and bend. So getting it active, so then getting it to release. 2 and 1. Then extend it and leave it. Scoop up through the belly. Really keep it nice and connected there, and lift and lower. So try to find that not so kind spot that you're sitting on and lift and lower there. 2, 1. Okay, then my personal thing. Point through the toe. It's turned out. You're gonna lift it up. Then you're gonna open it to its ickiest spot and let it stay there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then bring it in, okay? Switch to the other side. Now, you may need to do it a little bit longer. This is about having a conversation with your body. So just put it in the dent of your tush, okay? And sit on it. Try to find that spot where you go, oh, okay, that's where it needed to be. But I really do encourage you to have a conversation with your body. Sit and roll on it. Sit and have a little experience and go, where do I need it to be? But you're gonna sit first, then roll up and down. If you want to cross fiber and go side to side, that's fine. It may be very well what you need to release it with. Sometimes if mine's really wound up and really bad, I definitely need to. And other times this little series is enough to do it. Once you've rolled it a couple times, sit on it again for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then that close and open, close and open. 3, 2, and 1, and then extend and bend. Extend and bend like a little frog leg. 3, 2, and 1, and then lift and lower, lift and lower. This is with a flexed foot. 3, 2, and 1, and then just my personal thing that works for me. Point through the toe, lift it up, and then start to open it where you feel your icky spot. Technical terms, right? So push out of the forearm, lift through the belly, and hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then allow it to release, okay? So the next two pieces you will need a wall for. There's a wall back behind those curtains. I will try not to have the curtains come crashing down with me. First part is you're gonna sit up against the wall. Really anchor your tailbone and your sits bones in, and let the opposite ankle over the other knee, okay? If this is enough stretch for you, then you can stay here. If not, you start to walk this foot in, but you want the knee in alignment with the shoulder, so don't let it wing out. And that heel to start to come as close as you can, keeping your spine long and tall. So there's a trick here, and I'm sliding on the floor a little bit. So you want to keep your sits bone up against the wall. If it starts to tuck and slide under you, the integrity is gone, and it's not going to help as much. So it's better to have the foot farther away with the length in your spine so you get the stretch underneath here, okay? This little series, if you did it consistently, a couple times a week, you wouldn't have issues in the piriformis after a while, okay? So that you get that opening, you need to layer it with the strengthening, but this is a lovely release that I have used for years that really work. 4, 3, 2, 1, okay? On your own time, if you can set a little timer and do each of these stretches up against the wall for 2 minutes, that's best, okay? So again, the other side, find your alignment, find your length, find your height, then start to walk this heel in wherever you can. I'm trying not to drag the mat with me, so bring the heel in, but keep the spine long and tall. Again, trying to keep that knee aiming straight up and down for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Again, if you're doing these on your own and you start to do these without this video, sit for 2 minutes at a time on each side. Then, it's nice to have the mat underneath your knees for this one. Okay, bit of the same story, that you want 2 minutes at a time if you can. You're gonna line your knee up and that back leg with the wall, and the other foot comes out, okay? So the goal is to have that open for you, right? And the knee aiming over your big toe and your second toe with a lot of height. You can definitely press back into the wall if that's accessible to your body. Don't force anything, don't push anything. Tuck your tailbone under, lift the belly high and tight, okay? Again, a 2-minute opening on here would be yummy and wonderful and really get into the fascia and all the good pieces. Try to get the big toe aiming straight ahead, the heel right behind it, and the knee in alignment between the big toe and the second toe. And switch, okay? So if you need a little extra padding under the knee, make sure you've got it, okay? But the most important piece to me is that you tuck your tailbone under so that it's supported in the low back, connected at your core, and you really get that stretch and lift through the front of the quad and the hip, okay? So that it's not about hanging down into the joints. It's about lifting and stretching and pulling up. I always think of taffy being pulled, or like brand new clean hotel sheets being pulled up and flat, right? You don't want them all rumpled and pressed into the joints. You want them lifting and up and out of the joints. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And come on out of there. Okay? So that little series will really open things up and tend to kind of the hip girdle and mostly the piriformis. So for those of you that have it get really wound up and you're like trying to get your fist in, you know, your thumb in there to release it, get a little something to roll on, get that acupressure business happening. And then of course, self-care, consistency with this and with massage from a licensed massage therapist, you know, does wonders for a body. So thank you for joining me today for this little Tip Tuesday mini vid, and I'll see you next time.